Here comes the sun, doo doo doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.
Nobody can deny. He's a jolly fellow, he's a jolly fellow, he's a jolly good fellow. Pretty soft deal, Ben. You got it made. No more work for you. Oh, no.
I've finally made it. No more hurry, no more pressure. To Ben Huggins for 30 years loyal service. From now on, I'm going to enjoy myself. Retired, my first project was to do absolutely nothing. Slowly. I was at peace with the world was at peace with me. It was like being a boy again, and a whole new world was before me. I felt great. This is the life. What with my retirement plan and a few dollars I'd saved, I didn't have a thing to worry about. I watched people rushing around and was glad I didn't have to. After 30 years of running, I was happy to walk for a change. With the children married and gone, our house was pretty big, but the mortgage was paid up. Sue and I had always looked forward to fixing the house up just like we wanted it, and we set out to do just that. Now I had all the time in the world for the little things I could never enjoy before. My first project, doing nothing, soon changed into working full-time around the house, and I loved every minute of it. Sue and I had always been fond of flowers, and this year I promised myself we'd have a garden that would be the pride of the entire neighborhood. Even the birds knew something special was going on when I set up the new bird bath. I was pretty proud of it, made it myself. Among other things, I even had time for an old hobby of mine. Built myself a dark room in the basement. I really got a lot done in a short time, and I felt kind of proud of myself. Even my golf score improved. To think that I used to fuss about how crowded everything was on weekends. Now I had the golf course all to myself all through the week. I'd think of the fellas back at the office, same old grind, 9 to 5 every day. Then there were times I'd get a thought I hated to admit. I was sort of lonesome. After a while, some of the things I used to take for granted got more and more important. Now I really look forward to the weekly luncheon club. That's when we'd swap stories, mine about golf and gardening, and theirs about what was happening down at the office. I could tell they envied me, and sometimes I laid it on a little thick. But the time at the luncheon always went by so fast. It seemed like we no sooner got started than they started rushing back to work. It didn't used to be this way, but now I was always the last one to leave. After a while, I found myself walking away from those meetings and wondering if maybe I should have stayed on at the office for a few more years. Everyone seemed to have somewhere to go, something to do. With time on my hands, I started a kind of self-improvement program. Read books I'd always meant to read. But I was too restless to concentrate. Well, the company had its big annual picnic. I could tell Sue missed going. She used to have a good time at all the office parties. Somehow, when you stop working, you seem to stop doing lots of other things besides. The neighborhood seemed to be growing away from us. Lots of new young people moving in. Lots of new children. I felt guilty about resenting their fun. Boys will be boys, I guess.
Shortcut, throw it. Okay, here it comes. It broke.
Boys will be boys, I guess.
And from eastern North Dakota into northern Minnesota. Now for the local weather forecast. Another cold front is expected to move in tonight, bringing freezing rain and snow to most of the area. It is predicted that before this cold wave passes, the thermometer will reach record low sub-zero temperature.
This is retirement. Time on your hands. With no place to go. Nothing to do. This is what it means to be put out to pasture. There must be something else. This can't be what I've looked forward to for all these years. I'm not ready for pasture. I've got a lot of living left in me.
Ben, we've never taken a winter vacation in our lives. What do you say we take one now? Let's go west. I know. Let's go to Arizona. Visit our friends the Nealons. Let's go right now. I got a letter
What?
from the
In the
Nealons.
middle of the
I'd
night?
like to come and visit them.
I wondered if she felt all right. Arizona, of all places. Why not Timbuktu? I wouldn't hear a word of it.
Land of adventure and the Grand Canyon.
Sun City, an active new way of life. Golf course, activity center, community center, recreation park, swimming pool, highway house, shopping center. It's like a resort. There they were, looking 10 years younger than when I last saw them. Jean certainly hasn't lost her touch. Best meal I had since we left home.
I just love your home, Jean.
Thanks. It's just perfect for the two of us.
The kitchen is so wonderful to work in.
Oh, and what a change from that huge place back east.
Isn't it wonderful, Ben? Imagine living right on the golf course.
Well, you know how it is with us big shots. Strictly country club. No, seriously. At home, you'd have to be the town banker, really loaded to enjoy this kind of life. But the truth is, when I retired on less than $400 a month. And Jean and I get along real fine. The house, groceries, recreation, fun, the works. And I'll let you in on a little secret. Here, with all you see, we've got no more than $12,000 tied up in the whole thing, and I bought the most expensive home on this block.
It looked good, all right. Still, I wondered about that sign out front. An active new way of life. What's the new way of life?
The best way to answer that is to show you. Tomorrow morning, right after breakfast, we'll give you a grand tour.
Great. Morning came bright and clear, and after a hearty breakfast, we started our tour of Sun City. First, we left the girls at the beauty shop. Bill and I continued on.
This is our shopping center, which offers all the merchandise and services we could possibly want for everyday needs. We even have our own bank, self-service laundry, post office, and a new modern medical center. It's a metropolis in miniature, but business is done with small-town friendliness and informality. Our pride and joy is the golf course. It was designed so that the fairways wind through the neighborhoods, with many of the homes directly bordering the course and every home only a few steps away. You know, there's one big discovery that we all make when we retire, and that is that our fun time doesn't have to be confined to 2 weeks out of the year anymore. But then you find out there aren't enough facilities, or everything's on the other end of town, or the weather's against you. That's the beauty of Sun City, boy. All your favorite activities are available to you right up the street. What do you like? The finest resort couldn't supply more. And all this together with Arizona's fabulous sunny, dry climate. The tremendous thing is that once this concept of retired living was proven and its success assured, Del Webb immediately put into motion plans for other cities like this one. He selected the nation's best climate areas, and today, this way of life is a reality. Craft Center, fully equipped with the finest tools for all kinds of creative activities. You've seen our home, now let me show you some of the others. The houses, like everything else in Sun City, were designed exclusively for guys like you and me, to suit the needs of folks who've retired. The rooms of every house are all on one floor, and the entire home is designed for easy upkeep and minimum maintenance. But what counts is the fine people in them. They come here from all over the country, from all walks of life. Notice you haven't seen any young kids around. That's because there are no young families with children here. Of course, we love them and enjoy their visits, but after you've raised your own, you deserve a little peace and quiet. And of course, no kids, no schools, easy on the taxes. Every home has a completely modern kitchen. Most have built-in range and oven. And you might call the patio a symbol of the way of life out here. Casual and relaxed. Some folks want a home that's free of all responsibility for upkeep or gardening work. For them, Sun City has these beautiful cooperative plan apartments, 1- and 2-bedroom models, and all have private fenced patios, electric kitchens, and refrigerated air conditioning.
Suddenly, it was noon. It was time to meet the girls. A delightful atmosphere. It's one of Del Webb's nationally famous motor hotels. This one is headquarters for all the folks who come to visit Sun City. Sue looked like a different person, and from the looks of that hat, she must have felt like one too. Bill invited us to a party that night. It seemed that one of the big attractions was going to be
one of the world's great baritones.
Ooh, a pal so good and true, I'd like to leave it all behind and go and find
community center building was full of people. I noticed they all seemed busy and active. And as I said to Sue later, they sure looked like they were doing what they wanted to do, when they wanted to do it. Bill introduced us to a lot of his friends. Their many invitations held promise for an active, fun-filled vacation. Bill pointed out a map showing where the Sun City residents come from. It was revealing that practically every state in the Union was represented. We met Jack Davis, a Sun City representative, who was busy revising the figures upwards.
Sun City representative. Jack, I wish you'd tell these folks just how Sun City got started. Would you do that?
Why, sure. I'd be happy to, Bill. The building of Sun City required tremendous faith on the part of the man who guided the idea through to fulfillment. It required faith not only in the idea, but in the people for whom it was intended. Those who have taken part in the years of America's greatest growth and development, and who now want their retirement years to be the most interesting and the happiest years of their lives. Now, this faith has been justified in what you saw here today. Sun City began as a dream of Del Webb, who heads one of the largest construction firms in the world. For the last 30 years, he's been building America from coast to coast. His construction genius has served to build industrial plants, military installations, and every conceivable type of building in between. Hospitals, modern skyscrapers, apartments, which introduced new concepts in apartment living, apartment buildings, motor hotels, hotels, and thousands of beautiful homes in a score of America's cities. But always there was the dream to build a complete new community, one that would be reserved exclusively for those who have reached the age of 50 or more, and who have retired, semi-retired, or planning retirement, and are interested in actively enjoying the years ahead, the best years of their lives. But the realization of any dream must be based on sound planning. And to be sure that this community would really be exactly what its future residents wanted, he began a research program which reached into every corner of the nation, which revealed the personal desires, the individual needs, the true picture of what was wanted most to make retirement the rich, full life it should be. You see, the answer's all about you. The result is a dream come true. And now in Arizona, California, and Florida, thousands of America's retired and semi-retired are enjoying this active, interesting way of life that spells true happiness for them. Add to this all the pleasures of country club living.
This was one of the fullest, most rewarding days I've had in months. I was going to enjoy my sleep tonight. And for the first time in months, I was looking forward to tomorrow. The following days and weeks were filled with all sorts of interesting activity. Sue and I tried our hands at everything. I played golf just about every day. Almost forgotten the feeling of being active and on the go. And no matter what we did, there was always someone new to meet, new friendships to make. It was wonderful being in the game again instead of on the sidelines. We were living it up. We'll never forget the trip into the Grand Canyon by mule. We managed to travel through much of the fabulous state of Arizona. For the first time in our lives, we stepped on foreign soil when we went across the border to Nogales, Mexico. One day, while Sue and Jean went on a shopping spree to Phoenix, Bill and I went fishing at one of the many wonderful trout streams in the state. Another day, we went fishing at Lake Pleasant, just 20 miles from Sun City. We visited historic missions around the state. And on Sundays when we went to church, it was with full thanks in our hearts. It was the time of our lives, just perfect, except for one thing. It went by much too quickly. And suddenly the time had come when we had told ourselves we would head for home. The night before we were to leave, our wonderful host gave us a party and invited a few of our new friends to give us a send-off. I was beginning to feel we had lived here for years. I was going to hate to leave this place, these people with their enthusiasm and their active pursuit of life. Morning came, goodbyes were said, we were on our way. It would be great to live here for the rest of our lives, I thought to myself. But I figured Sue wouldn't go for it. Wouldn't want to pull up stakes, leave the grandchildren and all that. Suddenly, just as I'm thinking this, she says,
Ben, Ben, why are we leaving?
Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.